Hi, I have Johnny Moore here today, and he's going to talk about his ministry dealing with men.
Yes,
Okay, Johnny, I have a few questions that I'd like to ask.
sure.
Okay, so what do you mean when you say walking with God?
What I mean when I say walking with God, one of the things that I think that we need to understand is that we have a lot of things in our tradition is Christianity that a lot of people attribute to walking with God. They attribute prayer to walking with God and fasting walking with God. But those are things that are part of our tradition. When I talk about walking with God, I'm talking about using our gifts and talents for the service of God. And I think that that's remarkably different. And what I mean by that is that we have a lot of people who are living for God, they love God, and they're doing their best to be good Christians for God. But when you look in the Bible and you look at the talents and you look at a lot of the scriptures and the people who were instrumental in the Bible that gave us the greatest examples, we find men and women that use their gifts and their talents for the service of God. And I believe that in order for men, particularly today in our society, to really get connected with God, they have to understand that their gifts and their talents and the abilities that they have acquired came from God and were intended to be used in the service of God. I think that if we start using our gifts and talents for the service of God, we will begin to find that all the things that we have been looking for in life, the joy, the peace, the prosperity, and all of those things will come about as we walk out our destiny with God. And so that's what I mean when I talk about walking with God. When we're walking with God, we're probably more passionate, more powerful, more peaceful, more joyful, because we're using the gifts and the talents that we've always wanted to use for the service of God.
Okay, why is the prison system so important to you?
Why is the prison system so important to me? I've studied a long time my faith, and it has led me through some hills and some valleys, and it has brought me full circle into the prison system. The prison system, in terms of what I have witnessed concerning men, is filled with men. Men who are viable, men who could do great and wonderful things for the service of God, men who are supposed to do great and wonderful things for the service of God. And so I believe that if we are going to talk with men and if we're going to dialogue with men, we have to go where most of the men are located today, and that's in prison. And so I go into the prison systems and I speak about walking with God. I talk a lot about addiction with the men. I talk about their future. One of the things that men have a problem with is learning what it means to be a man and how to live as a man. And so we have a lot of conversations where we talk about just what it means to be a man, how to deal in relationships, how to deal with your children. And so the prisons are very instrumental to me because I think that that's where a lot of our men are residing today. And if we really want to minister to men, go into the prison. You'll find all the men that you want or you're looking for.
Okay, so have you ever dealt with addiction yourself?
Yes, I have dealt with addiction myself. I probably done so many drugs in my lifetime. I think that, when you look at some of the new drugs, no, I'm not familiar with them, but at some point drugs become drugs. And I was at some point in my life a crack cocaine addict. It was devastating for me because deep down I knew that I wasn't born to be an addict, but life happens, things happen, and we all go through things, and we're looking and searching for truth and identity, and a lot of times when we're looking in the eyes of our family members and the people that we know, and we don't find what we're looking for there. And so we search out meaning, and a lot of times that meaning is in the gangs that we become associated with and people who lead us the wrong way. And so, yes, I have dealt with it.
So what would you say is most important in being a man?
What would I say that is most important in being a man? Purpose. I think a man was born for purpose. Everybody has a purpose. See, there would be a time that we could not identify that with one word, but I think that today we can, or I at least can, identify in terms of purpose, because it's hard to live out your purpose. It's not so hard to find your purpose, even though a lot of people never do find their purpose and they never find what they were born to do. But the easy way out for a lot of people have become drug dealing and stealing and the things that that we see in society today. But that's an easy way out of what is a long situation when we talk about purpose, because purpose requires patience, and it requires diligence and determination. It requires falling and getting back up. It requires learning, and it requires years sometimes of training before you're actually mature enough to do what you were born to do. And so a lot of people today are taking the short way out, and the short way out leads a lot of people to their grave, an early grave, or in a jail cell. And so I think that the most important thing in any man's life is his purpose. That's what he's looking for, and the rest will fall in place.
Okay. May I ask, so what is your plan, and how do you plan to continue on with this mission for dealing with men in prison?
That's a good question, because I'm currently now trying to, I'm doing the prison, and I love the prison, and I want to go into more of the prison systems and talk with men. But I also am contemplating doing a radio broadcast. On that radio broadcast, I want to talk about what it means to walk with God. I want to talk about purpose. I want to dialogue about addiction and see how many people that I can help in giving them information that is desperately needed today when it comes to dealing with addiction. And so those are the things that I hope to do in the future. So.
Okay, and my last question. So how long have you been free from addiction?
Oh, at least 25 years. When you talk about being free, I've been free from addiction a long time. The one thing that I would say is that what people have got to understand, there's a difference from being clean in addiction and being free from addiction. And those are some of the things that I want to talk about on the radio broadcast. So I look forward to dialoguing about these things with you. So stay in tune for the radio broadcast that is coming soon in your neighborhood. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.